Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast. We're your hosts, Abby,
Haley,
and Tori.
Today's topic will be Princess Diana, more specifically how the media coverage of her before and after her death affected her reputation, representing the gender and political inequalities within the royal family.
Now getting started with a little bit of a history lesson, Princess Diana is a very familiar name to many people. But just in case you're unfamiliar, here's a little bit of her life. She was born on July 1st, 1961 in Sandringham, England.
She became the Princess of Wales through her marriage to Prince Charles before they divorced due to his infidelity. She had 2 children with him, Prince William and Prince Henry. They were ages 15 and 12 when their mother passed.
In 1997, she tragically passed away in a car accident due to being chased by paparazzi. Many speculations go around if the media was the direct cause of her death to this day.
Starting with her divorce, before, during, and after that time, the media never left the princess's side. While she was known for her kind, compassionate, and caring demeanor, her beauty and fame only helped her from there. In a sense, her undoubtable beauty can be tied to her gender and how differently treated everyone is based on uncontrollable factors. In a 1995 BBC interview with Martin Bashir, the princess mentions that she had, quote, struggles with bulimia, expressed doubts about Prince Charles' readiness to be king, and admitted to knowing about his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles, end quote. You hear this and think how someone so beautiful could be so ashamed of their body in such a way, yet it wasn't just that. In a way, the princess may have been proving herself worthy to Prince Charles, and the media can't get enough of that. Many articles stated how her eating disorder sparked during the divorce and when the princess was aware of the prince's other lover. Nothing stopped her positive outlook on life, though. She never stopped visiting patients with HIV/AIDS or even leprosy. And she was known for her controlling her own life instead of letting the royal family or even the media get to her. Many people claim and support that the media may not have been the direct cause of her death, yet it truly played a larger part than ever suspected.
So, as we know, Princess Diana's death was widely broadcasted by the media. She was a princess in the royal family, so it's safe to say that she was pretty important and that her death was a big deal for Britain's politics. However, her death wasn't covered by the media in a way you think that a death would be covered. She was seen as the most hunted person in modern times, as described by her brother at her own funeral. She was known for her compassion, beauty, and ability to connect with the country's minorities. But under all of that glory, she was a very insecure person. So noticeably insecure that the media easily picked up on it and had used it to their advantage. This jump-started the hatred she started to receive from the media. She began to see more and more articles and news reports about her, calling her things such as childish and frail. With the constant abuse from the media, she considered herself as the prisoner of Wales, as shown in the article from Charles Sturt University. Diana never really had any identity. She was always seen as the gray area between a child and a woman due to her inability to make independent decisions. There was lots of confusion and speculation that circles her and her death, even still to this day, but I think one of the largest reasons is because there wasn't any clear communication with the media. She just let them create whatever stories they wanted about her, and the British people believed it because their news sources held tons of influence on their actual beliefs. Her death became so ostracized because of this fact that many things were blown out of proportion, and her struggles under the constant lens of the media were finally recognized when it was too late. The media slowly started to realize how overbearing and ruthless they were. Her death could be considered as cannibalized by the media. The hold over her sons wasn't drawn back, but as time went on, her death was portrayed in different lens. In today's modern history, she is seen as an icon for women and feminist ideals. Unfortunately, we cannot go back in time, but I think it's safe to say that the media won't treat another death the way they treated Princess Diana's.
I totally agree, Abby. The media has definitely changed a lot since Princess Diana's death. Moving forward, Princess Diana was an international icon, as she had such a charismatic personality and was so down-to-earth, especially compared to the rest of the royal family. The media loved her, although the circumstances depended on whether she loved them back. She had a love-hate relationship with the media, and rightfully so, as they were incredibly invasive of her personal life. However, in one of her famous interviews with Martin Bashir mentioned before, She told all of her experiences that she had in the past, especially with her marriage, the royal family, and the media. This can be seen especially as how the media had been hounding her since she was only 19 years old. No one in the palace knew what was happening, not even her husband. This caused a lot of controversy within the palace, as this was quite against the rules that they had established. One of the many rules, of course, that they had for the princess. An article from the Toledo Blade highlights how, quote, the interview by the 34-year-old princess in the latest counterpunch in what has become more like a war of the royals than a marriage, end quote. It was a bit contradictory how sometimes she would share much with the media and other times would outright detest them. However, the public always seemed to love her, and as Time magazine put it eloquently, quote, Diana's popularity only increased as the decade wore on, and it endured despite the acrimonious breakdown of her marriage to Prince Charles, end quote. So, even though she had gotten a divorce from a highly sought-after man, she was still beloved by the British public, although not so much behind the scenes. The royal family was not the biggest fan of her after her divorce due to the attention she attracted from the tabloids. Although Queen Elizabeth II publicly stated that she admired Diana's determination, she did dislike the closeness she had with the media and how it was not approved by the royal establishment. Again, this is in reference to one of the many rules that they had for Princess Diana, although later we can see, in the present, how Meghan Markle and Prince Harry and other royals have broken those rules. But at the time, it was very difficult, and they just were not broken. That was not something that ever happened at the time. Overall, she did not have the best relationship with the royal family, especially after her divorce from Prince Charles.
To wrap things up, we recognize that we are human and we make errors sometimes, and obviously we don't know the full story of Princess Diana. We tried to be as neutral as possible when talking about these people, especially in delicate circumstances like what happened to her.
Most of the sources we used also had little bias so that we could provide as much true information as possible to discuss this topic.
Thank you for giving us your time, and we hope you walk out knowing more about Princess Diana and all the hypocrisy surrounding her life and death as told by the media.